What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow, as my thesis has not changed. I do believe there's a little bit more room for the temporary relief rally to continue, and I do think it's very possible for NIO to see some parabolic moves just for tomorrow and the near-term future in this temporary rally. Now, before I give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow, before I talk about why I'm so bullish for NIO and what the technicals are essentially telling us right now, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, but benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some NIO shares for free in this limited time offer that ends in just 4 days. So please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, we can see some very interesting things. It was up 4.47% on Friday. It's currently up 0.21% in the after hours. So it's looking pretty good right now. But I do believe it has more room to continue with the upside, a little bit more room before we do see some downside, probably by next week after the whole July 4th weekend. But until then, I see some upside. I'm going to show you why I think that. So if you look at the fear and greed index, we go down actually to right here, okay? The market was extremely fearful a month ago. Last week, it was extremely fearful. Currently, it's on the fear side. So we're seeing a little bit relief in the markets. They're not as fearful as before. And as a result, I do think that the market is starting to shift in this upward direction, because if you look at the SPY, real quick, check out the SPY. We're clearly forming this. Let me use the 2-hour time frame to show you this. We formed this inverse head and shoulders right over here. We can see the head and the two shoulders are here, a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. And it looks like we might have this gap down and another gap down here, which are indications that in the future we are going to drop again, but I don't see it coming just yet. I think we have more room for upside first. And I say that because not only did we fill this first gap on the way up, we have another major gap at 400. So in my opinion, it's very possible the SPY is going to continue to push to the upside, because what's happening is the second quarter is ending, numbers don't look good, and the market makers, these big hedge funds, for their clients, they don't want the numbers to look this bad for the quarter. So they're probably going to prop up the market just to make them look better and also to rebalance their sheets. And for all those different factors, we're also seeing some bullish indicators. I mentioned in a previous video, the SPY was trading sideways, but if we got a big volume push, we could have saw a breakout in either direction, and we ended up getting the upside on Friday. The volume came in. Look at this nice volume candle. The SPY pushed up, looking a lot stronger than before. If we look at this from a technical perspective, we got this nice crossover from the MACD and the signal line, and it continued to push to the upside. So after we got this island gap right here, we saw more bullish price action. It continued, and it's looking like it's going to continue again, and the SPY should be maybe touching 400, or in an extremely bullish possibility, if that is the case, it could go as high as 420, but I think that's very unlikely. Seems more likely to stop around that 405, 400 range. So we do have some more room to continue to the upside, in my opinion. Now, for NASDAQ, same thing. You look at the NASDAQ, very similar setup. We got this inverse head and shoulders that formed. We did see this double gap, or like almost like an island gap that formed right here. And on top of that, we have a gap down here. It's a little bit bigger than the SPYs on the way down, but I don't see that getting filled just yet. I think upside is also looking more prominent as we have a gap to the upside too. So I do think the NASDAQ is going to push up even more, and it looks pretty darn bullish as well. And it's going to really push up a lot of the tech stocks that are oversold in the future. So looking at NIO, here's what the setup is essentially showing us. What you'll notice is NIO continued to push up, all right? And we just kept going and going and going, but we are forming these gaps on the way up, which are an indication that it will likely start to drop sometime in July, but I don't think we're there yet. We have a little bit more room for upside before we continue down. I believe the SPY, the NASDAQ and the overall market are going to pump NIO up even more. I think the market may collectively actually be bullish for the next couple of days before the July 4th weekend. So what I predict is this. The key zone, I think I forgot to actually map this out. That 25, let me see if I can calculate this. The 25 range is going to be a very key zone for NIO for the psychological level. And the next really key zone after 25 is going to be that 27.24 range. That's where our gap fill was, the previous low. So to me, it looks more likely this thing is going to continue to push up for the next couple of days before more downside comes. Now, let me show you why I think that. So if I bring up the 5-minute chart, look at this upward trend NIO is on. It's not showing, excuse me, it's not showing signs that it's done just yet. It doesn't look like it's just going to start dropping or anything like that. It's just holding up pretty darn well. If I bring up, let me see this. From this perspective, check this out. RSI is picking up pretty strongly. We're not seeing bearish divergence. Got a nice crossover from MACD and the signal line. And the momentum, it slowed down a little bit right here, but then it's continuing to kind of push up. If you look at the MACD, the momentum is still picking up, which means NIO does look like it has a little bit more room, especially considering it's green in the after hours, and it just soared past many resistance levels. Now, another thing I want to show you are the Bollinger Bands. We can see right here. Let me just show you this. When I zoom out, it might look better on the 5-minute. Let me actually try to use the 5-minute for this. So yeah, what you'll notice is whenever we get those major breakouts, we see them come very close together, the upper and lower bands, before we get a big expansion and that breakout. They come together, they break out, and then going forward, right here, before our big gap up to $23, we got this big close right here between each of the upper and lower bands, then this expansion that pushed us all the way up. And then recently, if I go closer, you could see right before we saw the big parabolic breakout, we saw the bands tighten really, really tight, like right here temporarily. And this tightening was an indication that we saw the big move to the upside. So the next key zone, in my opinion, is that 25 range. And it's possible that if NIO has enough momentum, enough juice in it, this thing might actually gap fill to $27. Now, I can't guarantee that if it is that explosive this week, but that is something that's in the realm of possibility. I do think that 26 range might kind of be where our top is before we see some downside, but I'm not going to say 27 is out of the question. So before we get to 27, right, we got to get to 25. So that's why I'm going to give you guys my prediction just specifically for Monday. So let's actually zoom out of the chart like this and make it look like this. So what I think is going to happen, okay, on Monday, NIO is going to be explosive into open. I think the whole market is going to rally with all the managers, all the hedge funds, all the institutions trying to make the quarter look a lot better, trying to really improve and get that temporary relief. It's very possible into open, NIO pushes up like this, and this thing might go between $25, $26, something like that. And we're going to get halted down kind of and slow down a little bit just temporarily. We might hold that 24.5 range for a little bit of time. Then later in the day, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing slowly starts to push up again and gets a very strong close. So I'm pretty darn bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if NIO even touches $26 a share. And we might actually be on our way to that $27 gap fill, that old gap fill that was formed a long time ago. So it's very possible NIO closes above $25 in my opinion. I'm predicting a close above 25, maybe 25.23 or something like that. And I think we might see some explosive price action in the very beginning of the day. So like I said before, I'm very, very bullish. If this thing hypothetically started dropping, and that would be kind of unlikely, but if that did happen, look out for that 22.25 to 22.4 range, 21.02, and then 20.10. Okay, those are just key zones to be prepared for in case something goes berserk. But once again, I see that very unlikely. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're most likely going to see some bullish price action, and I wouldn't be surprised if NIO even touched $26, let alone closed at 25.5. 25.2 to 25.5. So I'm very bullish for tomorrow. I'm bullish for most of the upcoming week, but I don't necessarily think this is going to last forever. It's just a temporary rally. And it's very good to see this. It's exciting. So be prepared for anything. I just think upside is very likely, and we might see NIO make some explosive moves tomorrow, in my opinion. With that said and done, thank you for listening. Please have a fantastic weekend, a fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon, and peace out.